Welcome to another episode of Film Fights with Friends. I am Stephen Kepler.
I am Paul Veracci.
Dude, season 2.
Season 2. What a crazy season. Amazing guests. You know, when I go back, you're going to shit on me for this, but when I actually watch the episodes,
you actually watch them?
No. I watch a lot of the previews though. I can't believe some of the guests we got.
Yeah. No, we're killing it. The guests are fucking killing it.
It's almost kind of like I'm starstruck, and haven't really registered who we're talking to until I go back and watch it, and I was like, holy fuck.
Sometimes it's hard to not nerd out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really hard today because today we got Michelle Waterson-Gomez.
Yeah. And we're both super fucking fight nerds. So,
I mean, I've been a fan since the MMA days.
Mm-hmm.
So to sit and chat with her today about Havoc, that fight scene with Tom Hardy.
Yes.
Fucking amazing.
And also just when we sit down and we talk to someone who comes from that same salt, you know, it's great. And
she's the 4th BJJ black belt on the show.
The 4th?
Yeah.
That's insane.
We're keeping the statistics up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. And ironically, she's the second guest who's fought Tom Hardy.
That's right.
We had Happy Anderson from Bike Riders. Yeah. So we have a little trend going on.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
good call, buddy.
She's our second Tom Hardy opponent.
I'm like, now my brain's turning. I'm like, oh,
if we get a third one, we'll have to start a whole new podcast.
Right? Been
like I fought Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy fights.
Totally, dude. So the interview is great. We can't wait for you guys to listen to it or watch it.
And if you haven't seen Havoc yet,
yes,
what the fuck is wrong with you,
dude? Gareth Evans.
If you're a fan of action and you haven't seen pretty much every Gareth Evans movie, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, and if you need a precursor to this episode, go back and listen to our episode with Sonny Pang, who is also in Havoc.
Yes, we had him on before this came out, so we had brief mentions of it, whispers of this amazing thing that was coming out. Before
we saw it, Sonny was singing Michelle's praises, saying she's gonna knock your socks off in this movie.
And she absolutely did.
She absolutely does. Like, you have to see this movie.
Her presence on screen was almost unmatched.
Yeah, I would say. She was great. So for everybody watching or listening, we do have a link to the fight in the show notes. It's the spear gun fight, it's being called.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, how's your week? We've had a pretty busy week. We've had a lot going on, man.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
Since the last episode, we have a lot going on. We've got we hosted another CPR and concussion protocol class,
which was great.
It was
full of life-saving stories by me.
The look on people's faces every time you open your fucking mouth, dude.
I can't help it. If you put me in a forum and you're just like, hey, you guys can talk, that's bad to do if you see my fucking face.
It's good for a podcast host, though. Yeah. But Eugene Vladimirsky, great instructor, great set medic, actively working paramedic. Like,
yes,
anybody who in the New York area who needs a set medic or even just a class like he for us, he did CPR.
He brought in all the dummies. Everybody had hands on.
Yeah,
where it was a really, really great class.
We will definitely hook you up if that's something that you need services for. We highly recommend Gene. He's amazing, dude. We did just finish, and we can't say what for or to who, but we did finish. We were renting out the space here for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
Very big production.
Very big production. Very big everything.
Yeah, to train a very big actor. And it was really great to be a fly on the wall to watch that experience and to just kind of have that happening here. It was really cool. So anybody out there who needs a space,
Breakfall Studios,
hit us up. This beautiful space you see behind us, and we'll make it happen. We've hosted auditions, trainings, previs fights, rehearsals.
So getting prepared for movies, Breakfall. But let's talk about the movies that we've seen this week, man. You and I have spent a lot of fucking time together, dude, always.
Yes, but
we found more time to spend together.
We did a marathon of movie screenings. One of them you missed, unfortunately.
I did.
We got to go to,
and this no. Hold on.
We.
You are doing disjustice by just calling it a movie screening. You went to the fucking New York world premiere of Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning
On the red carpet, even.
on the fucking red carpet.
Yeah.
And if you can see in the background, there is a new addition to our wall.
Oh yeah.
Which is a cast-signed Mission Impossible 8x11 poster signed by the entire cast and Tom Cruise that this fucking man got done. He I don't know, did my spirit just like jump into you?
You usually bring in, you usually get all that stuff.
Right?
But this time I was able to do it. But yeah, I got to go to that. Unfortunately, you weren't there, but it was still a great time. And, and then we went to the Museum Moving Image and we saw a double feature. It was just 2 screenings back to back, but we stayed for both of them.
Yes.
Hooper, Burt Reynolds and Hooper.
Yes. And Indiana Jones. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Neither of which I have seen on the big screen because one, I wasn't even born, and the other one I was 4, 5.
Yeah. Hooper was 78. Raiders was 81.
So yeah, Hooper I was 0.
Yeah.
And Raiders, I was 3.
So good to see the dude.
Right? 81? 83?
81.
81, yeah, I was 3.
Yeah. You were 3 in 81.
And I did not realize how amazing. I felt like I was watching Raiders for the first time. And I've seen it 30, 40 times. But watching it on the big screen for the first time was truly, truly amazing. And the sound effects are so fucking 90, like that cheesy, like bass-filled fucking punches. It's so funny to listen to the sound of the punches then to what they sound like now.
Yeah, but Indy's gun though, boom, like a cannon.
The crack of the whip.
Yeah, so good. Speaking of that.
And the other thing I always wanted to say about Hooper is because I'm such a big Jaws fan, I can't watch that movie and not say Hooper like Quint saying it to
Hooper.
So I'm like, Hooper!
But what I liked what you said in our little social media quick reaction video that we did was for people who want to make new cinema, they need to watch old cinema.
Absolutely. And I think it opens your mind to what hasn't been done if you see what has been done.
Or just what you can do. It's not really stealing,
No, not at all.
The whole, we talked about it in our video, the whole scene in Raiders where he's goes out the front windshield, he's hanging off the front of the truck, Indy slides under the truck, he's hanging from his whip, sliding, climbs up the back. That was all a recreation of Yakima Canute's Stagecoach from 1939, right? So this is just like, you got to see the history, man. If you want to make current stuff, you have to respect the shoulders on which we stand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's just something that when you see these new...
That was Terry Leonard, by the way, in Raiders doing that stuff.
These new... I made this, whatever. And you watch, and it's like, have you ever seen, I'll just ask, have you ever seen this? And they're like, no. And I was like, you have no right making a fucking movie.
Well, listen, and to bring it back to Mission Impossible with the wing walking, with the biplanes, the 2 biplanes, of course, there were some new versions of that stunt that Tom did, creating 0 Gs and being between the wings and floating between the wings. But the whole plane-to-plane transfer, the walking on the wings, if you go back and watch Hooper...
Yep, that was all done.
That was in the scene where Hooper is showing his stunt reel to all the others. And it's film, and it's old film, which I believe is Hal Needham, the director of Hooper, doing the very same biplane, 2 biplanes, wing walking, plane-to-plane transfer. Those are the shoulders on which Mission Impossible stands. And Stagecoach from 1939 is the shoulders on which Raiders of the Lost Ark stands. And so it's so important to go back and watch these, and if you can, on the big screen.
Well, I would also say that I feel that, and I could be wrong, that Fast and the Furious is basically an homage to the scene of when they were driving in the cars, all the stunt people on the road, and they were doing the reverse. They were driving in the reverse, and the girls were jumping. They were passing the fucking beers.
Oh, in Hooper.
I'm like, there was a whole scene
Yeah.
in the second Fast and the Furious movie where they were all driving down the highway, and at one point, Paul Walker hits a fucking 180. They have a conversation. He flips a fucking dude off.
Yeah.
And the first thing in my head, I was like, dude,
that's Hooper.
This is fucking Hooper.
Yeah, when they're driving back,
Yes.
driving backwards and passing the beer from car to car. It was so good.
Yeah.
So listen, it's not like they don't sponsor us. There's no thing, but people should follow the Museum of Moving Image because they constantly have these great retrospectives. We've talked about it before. We went to the Frank Oz stuff, and now they're doing a stunt retrospective.
We saw Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah, we
part
saw
of the Frank Oz. That was great.
Raiders of the Lost. No, we saw Empire Strikes Back.
Empire. Again, another first for me on the big screen. Same thing with Dirty.
Yeah, and then I took my wife to see Muppets Take Manhattan.
Your first wife, you mean?
There's only one that matters, dude.
I don't matter.
Oh, you mean you? I was talking about.
That's why I said your first wife, because I'm your second.
Yeah, but I actually do have a first wife,
and now I have a fucking now I have a third.
You're
wife.
actually my third.
I'm your third. Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
See, I have a third wife now. Rocco's my third
I'm
wife.
a serial polygamist. But anyway,
I'm Mormon.
And then what did we do this week? On Monday, we saw advanced screening of Ballerina.
Yeah. Oh my God! That movie was.
Shockingly good.
I went in with I don't want to say low expectations because that makes it sound like I thought the movie was going to be shit, but I didn't go in with John Wick expectations. How about that? And I came out with John Wick feelings of awesomeness.
Yes, it was. We talked about it.
Best since the first one.
Best, yeah, we both agree. Best one since the first one.
It was so, for me, I would say Rotten Tomatoes fresh. 100% fresh. The fights, the scenes, and you didn't realize how different it was until you saw.
Yeah. It was just so fucking good.
Yes. Right? And then when you could see the difference in the two, you realize how much they tweaked the fight choreo for her to work, and the Action Factory.
Yeah.
Holy
shout
shit.
Shout out to Action Factory for the fire.
Shout out
for the fire stunts.
Wow. I was fucking jaw on the floor. On the floor during the flamethrower fight.
Yeah.
I was literally I was blown away.
So many good fights and action sequences here. Won't give away too much.
I'm trying not to.
Yeah, I mean, even though by the time this airs, it will have been months, but
still,
yeah, man. That's why we got the little wick on here, because it's like, when we started this podcast, people don't know like that we had said we're not going to do any wick episodes,
right?
Because it's overdone
and people expect it.
People expect it. Too many people talking about it. But after seeing Ballerina, holy cow, it was just so fucking good, man. In homage of that. Or in honor of that, because on the Wick timeline, Ballerina takes place
during 3.
Well, yeah, it overlaps 3, right? So she trains. If you saw Wick 3, there's the whole sequence where the guys are training sambo, the girls are training ballet,
right? And
she was one of those girls, and so they recreated the theater with Angelica Houston, where Wick comes in from. They reshot some of those scenes from Wick 3.
Yes.
So most people listening, or some of you listening, know that I was in Wick 3.
So you have so you talking about this made me question. There was a continuity thing that came up in my head while this happened. He punched his ticket, right? But then they called him to kill her, but he was already out. That didn't make sense to me.
Because that was 12 years later, after he earned his way back in. It started at Wick 3, but it ended later. Because remember, he does go back to the high table. He gets...
I guess that was what I didn't realize was how much time after.
Yes.
Like it could have been 1 year, it could have been 2 years, it could have been the middle. I didn't know how much after when
it said somewhere. It did
say
say somewhere there's a 12 years later title.
No, but I'm saying within that 12 years. So now we're I guess what I'm saying is at one point of that we are now after John Wick 4.
No, we can't be after Wick 4 because he supposedly died, right?
Right.
So it has to be before Wick 4.
That's where I got a little wonky with the timeline.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows?
That's all I was saying. I was like, that just made my brain kind of go. Pfft.
Yeah, it's after 3. It starts like kind of at 3, and then it fills in that gap in between 3 and 4. Yeah,
That's 12 years.
12 years.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't, because doesn't 4 take place right after 3?
I couldn't get my foot. That's why I was like, my brain fucking kind of twisted in that.
Maybe this is revealing that he wasn't dead,
or I just missed something completely, and I'm a
at
jerk
the end
off.
of 4. I don't know. It is.
That's what I was
yeah,
wondering. I was like, oh, so he's not dead? Like, is this the when they're like, oh, there's going to be a John Wick 5?
Well, originally they said there weren't, and then Lionsgate was like, no, you're the highest grossing R-rated movie we've ever had.
We have to kill it.
But dude, Ballerina, so good.
So good.
But to what I was going to say is we don't have a whole lot of Ballerina stuff to put on the table.
True.
But I wore this is my wardrobe from John Wick 3, from when I was a Sambo coach in the theater, in the scene with Angelica Houston and everything. So I figured for today's episode, we will Wickify it a little bit.
Steve stole his wardrobe from set. Piece of shit.
I didn't say anything like that. I didn't steal my wardrobe. I brought my wardrobe. Douche. I asked if I could wear my coach's. This is my coach's Sambo school in St. Petersburg, Russia.
Alex.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I asked if I could wear that, and they said yes. So it's an Easter egg in the movie, by the way.
That's so great.
Yeah. And so that's it. So I was a Sambo coach wearing a real Sambo coach's gym in a fake Sambo. So,
and I will say that those two kids that I was present, that you presented to them for that scene in 3.
Oh no, the Collier brothers?
Yeah. The Collier brothers.
They didn't audition here because I think they're from Tennessee.
Was that them? That them? The two in the scene?
In the middle.
Like when they did the throw and then they gave that dirty fucking look.
Yeah.
Dude, that look sits in my head. I'm like, those two kids, I was like, holy shit. Yeah. They look like they're ready to fucking kill John Wick.
Yeah, it was good. So the movie was great. The fights were amazing. It captured the energy of the first John Wick. It was so close to like that energy.
Uh-huh.
And of course the fights were fantastical.
Yes.
But not so over the top like the Wicks have become.
Well, I mean, yes, that's why we compare it to the first one, which is the best, in my opinion. Because there was story, there was substance, there was a reason to be emotionally invested in these characters.
And it was so good because, like you said, I wasn't thinking it was going to be terrible, but I know the film had a lot of false starts. They had a ton of reshoots. Like there was worry about it.
Like when I was watching...
It just came out so good.
When I was watching... like John Wick 4, I was more emotionally invested in the fact that Winston had passed during his scenes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there was nothing that made me care and become emotionally invested in any of the John Wicks after the first one because they were just playing on the dog thing and the revenge. Ballerina, I was emotionally invested in her character and everything that was going on and the reasons behind the movie. I was hook, line, and sinker. I was all in.
Yeah, totally. Very good. So everybody, it's already out in theaters by the time this will drop. So if you haven't seen it, go see it.
Probably be on demand.
Probably on demand, but definitely big screen. The locations, the settings, everything.
For the flamethrower fight. Definitely big screen.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else going on this? I can't say much more about it, but I will have wrapped on it. I think by the time this episode drops, I got another coordinating gig on a indie film.
Oh yeah, that's right. I had an open audition yesterday, which is fun. It was very cool. Yeah. We'll hear about it in the episode. Yeah, so I'm not gonna say shit.
Yeah, just keep listening. You'll hear about what it was for. But I think well, who knows? We'll put it out there. By the time this episode comes out, you will have worked on that production.
Hopefully.
That's what I'm predicting.
I hope.
So, hey, listen, we are talking about advanced screenings of movies, and we don't shout it out enough, but if you are a paying supporter of our Patreon, you will have access to tickets to these premieres and advanced screenings.
Yes, especially the ones in New York City. And not only that, you'll probably be going with us.
Yeah. One of us usually goes. or both of us if schedules or not. But
And if we don't go, and you do go to an advanced screening, and you decide you want to do your own review, and you send it to us, there's a chance we'll put it on the episode.
Yeah, totally. We'll so basically, so people know, like Breakful Studios and Film Fights with Friends, we work with a marketing company that helps get butts in seats for these premieres and advanced screenings. So if you want to have access to those seats to stick your butt into,
like the Mission Impossible screening.
Yes, like the red carpet mission. It wasn't just a screening. I mean, it was the premiere.
It was the red carpet. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. So definitely consider supporting us on Patreon and help keep the show alive. And you will also, if you are a supporting member of Patreon, be able to come to our next live event, which is another movie screening of the documentary Safe Sets.
And don't forget, our next paid $20 Patreon member gets the foil print of the Raiders of the Lost Ark poster. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
If
9.5 is kicking in.
If somebody hasn't already joined at the $20 level by now.
Yes, but the next person to join,
because this is dropping in August.
Yes, very true.
So, but if you look at our social media, we did put up a reaction video from Raiders, and you'll see the video. You'll see the limited edition poster that Paul's given away to our first $20 Patreon supporter.
And also, the greatest thing to just be a paid Patreon supporter is because I am a super nerd. I've been going to cons for years, and we're going to have lots of fun stuff to do giveaways for you guys.
We've already done cool giveaways. Yeah. We've done
signature posters,
Stephen
everything.
Kesting's book. We've done, what else have we given away?
Cast-signed emergent posters to every paid Patreon member.
Yep.
Got one.
Everybody gets the pin, the custom pin. Free tickets to our live shows, of which we're doing our second. It's really cool to meet the Patreon people in person.
Yes.
That was fun. That was a really fun time.
And I have one Patreon member, Naz, who gives me fucking guitar lessons. I'm not kidding.
So support us with money, and by the way, teach Paul shit.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. like literally, like this guy and I, we trade off. I send him exercise videos and stuff, and then he gives me guitar lessons. It's awesome. Yeah,
nice. So Patreon, help keep the show alive. Get some cool swag and shit. What else, dude?
Art of Making Film Festival.
You never get this shit right. Art of Movie Making Film Festival. Just say the Tammies. That's what they call them. The Tammies.
Tammies. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, before we leave Safe Sets, that's on August 16th. So I think this episode will be dropping right before that screening. And then the Art of Movie Making Film Festival is October 16th through 19th here in New York City. And they have a bust. They have a bust.
They have a bust.
They have a bust. They have a best stunt performance category. So if you submit to that and win, you will be invited to be on this very show.
That's right.
To get drunk with us on air.
What? We never get drunk on air.
Never.
It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, but so if you submit and win the best stunt category, you will be invited to be on the show, and hopefully you'll be on the show. So we have the Film Freeway link in the show notes. You can submit there. They have other great categories. Like it's all the crafts,
effects, makeup, everything.
Yeah, totally. Yo, speaking of effects.
Ooh. Oh, Tom Denier episode.
I know this episode, we were already a couple episodes past it, but because of how we batch all this stuff, Tom's episode just dropped a few days ago.
Yeah.
That fucker has a fan base.
Yeah.
Big time fan base.
Yeah, well, you got to the makeup and the FX guys, when you're at the caliber of Tom, which is huge.
Yeah.
You have so many facets of people that will follow. You've got cosplay people, there's just so many facets that you can tick into when you're that great and that good.
His niece, I'm trying to get her name. That's why I'm on my phone. She chimed in on the YouTube channel, and I want to give her a shout. She's like, "That's my uncle." That was there she is, Rebecca Mullen. Rebecca Mullen. Thanks for checking out the episode, Rebecca. And your uncle's freaking awesome.
He is the man.
Yeah, dude. But we've gotten so many people commenting on the Instagram that follow him. Other
Mhm.
people, other prop designers and makeup artists and all these people. Like I'm not surprised because he's so awesome.
He is. He's
and
pretty
if you
cool.
guys haven't listened to it, go back and listen to episode
I
3.
tagged him on some of my like I went back and I tagged him on some of my video, the old videos I did of me like when I do makeup in front of the thing, and in my head I was just like he's probably gonna look at it and been like, yep, you should just keep doing that in front of the TV.
Yeah, totally. Right. So this one was written by a guy named Jeff Norman. He actually private messaged our Instagram. He posted, but he also sent a different private message. And what's cool is he started following us because of Tom.
Oh, great.
But he was replying to our Raiders of the Lost Ark video.
Well, thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, totally. And Dark Wood Designs. He's got a cool Instagram. He's also a prop maker designer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's in the movie props group on Facebook.
He goes, "Hey, Steve, it's a pleasure to hear from you. I'm an old friend of Tom Denier, and he's the reason I found your Instagram page. Great stuff! ! I look forward to seeing and hearing more from you and your buddy Paul. I assume the two of you are doing this together." Yes, you assume correct.
We do. He asked, and I couldn't say.
Anyway, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Tell Tom I say hello if you talk to him. That fucker never replies to me anymore. So, Tom, if you're listening to this,
give a shout out to your buddy.
Please contact Jeff. He's upset that you never contact him anymore. So, but thanks, Jeff, for subscribing and listening and all that stuff.
And I'm glad you like the show.
Yeah, it's awesome, dude.
That's nice.
I think that's it, right? Are we good? Are we ready to jump in?
We're good. I think we're ready to jump in and bring in Michelle.
Let's just remind everybody to like, subscribe, review,
follow,
show us love everywhere, get us up in those algorithms.
Yep.
So other people will, and share our stuff. Honestly, sharing the stuff really is helpful.
And engage, make comments. Obviously we love to read out what what our fans say and their opinions and have it's not really a conversation, but we'll definitely get back to you on it on the things that you ask live on the air. So please reach out to us if you got anything to say.
And if you got stuff you want to say, you don't want to post it anywhere, send us something in the mailbag.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be glad to answer your questions or whatever. So that's fightingwithfriendspod@gmail.com.
Oh,
yeah,
sounds official.
It is official. And I think we should officially end this intro and bring in Michelle
Waterson-Gomez, the karate hottie.
I actually like Peanut.
I like Peanut too.
And if you want to know what we're talking about, you can listen to the episode.
I would love to hear Bruce Buffer give the Peanut intro.
Peanut.
It's time. I fucking love that guy, dude.
The karate Peanut.
Have they done a documentary on the Buffers? On the crazy story of the two of them?
I don't know.
They fucking should. Here we go.
Later. Let's bring in Michelle. Yo, everybody. Welcome to the show, Michelle. This is amazing. We've tried a few times and it's finally happening from a hotel room.
What an exciting episode.
I'm so excited. We made it happen. That's kind of how my life rolls. You just got to kind of roll with the punches.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it happens, it happens. And it happened.
And it happened.
Absolutely.
Dude, so when we're just going to just jump right into it. When we saw Havoc.
Wow.
Holy fuck. That last fight scene. I mean, first of all, you were awesome as the assassin. Just like the silent.
You had such a
forward.
great screen presence.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You demanded presence as you every scene you were in. It was great.
Like an anime character almost. Really. Yeah.
I was kind of nervous about that. And Gareth, I think, intentionally made her silent, the silent assassin, because I think he felt that she was going to bring more power to the scene, just kind of not even feeling like she needed to say anything.
You definitely did that.
But, I think it's harder. It's harder sometimes, I think, when you don't have to talk and you have to emote everything with physicality, right? Yeah. It's just like all physical acting.
I thought when I was watching it, maybe this might be a fanboy geeky comment to make, but I'm going to make it. When I saw it, I was like, if they were ever to recast Cara Dune from The Mandalorian, I'm like, boom. You had that was what that presence was like. I was like, if they were going to recast it, they should give it to you.
Really? You know, and Gina's a good friend of mine, so that's an honor to say that.
Dude, she's great in it.
She's
no
so
doubt.
great in it too.
No doubt.
And if they were ever to bring her back, I would be okay with it. But if they decided to recast it, it should go to you.
I'll take it.
Or what
yeah,
about,
it might
like,
be one of those
both
things
of them?
too, like birds of a feather. You know, both of us come from that fight background, so
yeah. I mean, we'll get into that. We usually start the episode right with reading the script, how the fight was actually written, but we don't have it. And so usually we try to read the script, get your immediate reaction from how it was written to how you trained for it, how it came out in the final cut, if you were happy or not. But we don't have that to get your immediate reaction. But we do have something that we want to get your immediate reaction to. So
okay.
Paul's going to play you something on his phone right up there in front of our camera. And then you can give us a reaction. If Paul doesn't fuck this up.
Don't fuck it up.
All right, here it goes. Here we go. Oh my god, funny. For those listening, you're missing a great video, but if you're watching on the YouTube, you will see what this is.
That was a fun time.
So this is Michelle training with VR goggles and hand little thingies on, or I don't know if you want to call it training, but fucking around with it.
Yeah, it was a video game that they had brought on set, and I think Justin thought it would be a fun way to warm up, and so we kind of all threw them on, and I was like, oh, it's a video game, it'll be easy peasy, and I got so tired so quick, and that's what it is. It's like when you go to throw and you miss or you don't connect, oh god, it exerts so much energy, and I do think that's a huge difference between, you know, a real fight versus a screen fight or a film fight.
Right, because you're not making you have to exert as much energy to stop a technique as start it.
And it looked like you were on some fun balloon planet.
Oh yeah. Honestly, you don't even remember. I think I was fighting a guy with a missing tooth. It was a good
That's
time.
Funny. So Sonny Pang is like my Facebook brother from another mother. He's been on the show before. He and I have been friends for years. So when we got you on the show, I immediately reached out to him and I was like, you got to give me something funny on Michelle. And he just immediately replied with a bunch of laughs and these 3 videos within a minute.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He was like, I've got something. He's like, and I haven't shown her yet. He's like, she'll love it.
Dude, Sonny's such a good dude.
Yeah, he is.
He is, you know, he was actually the first person I met when I got into Wales. Him and I got driven into Wales at the same time. And so we had a really great conversation on the ride over. And I was kind of telling him how nervous I was. And he kind of put me at ease and kind of gave me a couple of nuggets of knowledge and just talked to me a little bit more about the fight world and kind of how to get into my character as a villain. And so it was really great and just like took me under his wing and really kind of helped mentor me throughout the show.
And that's pretty good advice because Sonny is the nicest guy in the world and plays the evilest motherfucker on film.
Right. And he does a great job too. I thought that he just played kind of like this conniving, jealous uncle that, you know, wanted the spot. Like
he's like, he'll tell you a bedtime story while he's cutting your throat.
Yep. Yep. But he always plays the meanest like guys, you know. And so for our listeners, this is probably where you should hit pause if you haven't already and go to the show notes because we have the fight linked. So everybody should know what we're talking about. And I guess it's becoming known as the spear gun fight. I guess that's what people are calling it, right? It was so good. So we don't have the script to read, but when you first read the script and you read the description of the fight, how was that for you? Because this is the biggest role that you've had, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I've played a lead character in feature films, but as far as like the magnitude of the platform that it's on and the other players involved and the other actors, this is pretty big for me. I've done a lot of stunt work. I've been
Yeah.
a stunt.
You were in MacGruber, right?
I was.
MacGruber.
You're in MacGruber.
I was. That was where that's the movie that I got my SAG-AFTRA card from.
Awesome.
Nice.
So that's what Taft lead me in. But yeah, you know, just getting casted for this role was a very, very interesting journey for me. Jude Poyer, who is the stunt coordinator for the movie,
I auditioned for him yesterday.
Did you?
We can't say what the production is, but he's here in New York on a brand new production, so you should hit him up.
Yep, I
He was
literally
telling me to swing by. He was telling me to swing by.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he really enjoyed my fight style as a UFC fighter, and when he was putting together the previs, he put together the Assassin's previs with my fight style in mind. And so Gareth had gotten hold of me, and through Michael Bisping, actually, who's now doing film and commentating for the UFC.
He's got a new movie he's about to start working on.
Yeah, the Gambit, I believe it's called. But Bisping was like, "Hey, I have a director that's interested in talking to you. You know, if you want me to make the connection, absolutely, I do." And Gareth sat me through and let me watch a 10-minute fight previs, and it was for Havoc, and I was in love. I was like, "This is amazing." 10 minutes of straight fight carnage.
Yeah, I mean, that whole final sequence at the cabin was insane. Like, yours is just almost like this, yours is part of this massive shootout. And then there's this, like, you think it's over, and then there's this, then you show up and you're like, no, it's not over.
It ain't over.
It ain't over, right? And then it ends again with more guns and stuff.
And actually, the fight scene was supposed to be twice as long.
I believe it.
Oh, I believe. I mean,
I totally believe it.
How long was the last two fights in the Raid and Raid 2? Those fights were so long.
I texted
so great.
Sonny afterwards. I'm like, I don't know if you guys used enough bullets.
Which is interesting because I didn't even have a gun in that last fight scene. And I love that I was able to do some firearms work. Had a couple of different really cool shots with the shotgun.
But you shoot in real life. You're out on the range all the time. I see,
do.
Yeah. So it's not something you're unfamiliar with.
It's not, but I do remember telling my husband when Gareth kind of explained the style of the shot that introduced my character, and I was like, I don't know about I don't think anybody really holds a shotgun one-handed.
Not in real life. But this is Hollywood, right?
And I was just, I was trying to wrap my head around how I was going to make this look real. And my husband goes, "Babe, only two people in the world can say they've held a shotgun one-handed: you and the Terminator."
And it's so funny because you are kind of a Terminator character in this. I mean, you are just constantly moving forward.
Yeah.
Just silent killer, totally. But so the fight though is he designed it with you in mind, which is amazing. And it's for me personally, I love that fight because I'm so sick of sort of the John Wickification of fights, how they all look the same. And yours was so brutally honest. Like it was just a brutally honest fight between two skilled people, obviously, but it wasn't.
You both got hurt through the whole fight, and you didn't just get hurt long enough to take the reaction and move on to the next. You were hurt the whole fight.
Yeah. It was like, obviously it was fantastical, but it was plausible. That's what's so great about it. It's like a plausible fight.
Like you were both exhausted at the end, which I love. I love it when both people are exhausted at the end.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Especially, and Gareth actually does that very, very well. The fights will start at a 10 and work their way down to a really, really brutal 2. And I just mean speed wise, because you just get tired.
Yeah.
Right.
And he tells that story really well.
I mean, I think that's exactly what you said. He tells a story, right? I think he has probably the best understanding of how to tell a story through film, and that's why people tune in to watch fights, is because they see the story, and we're taking damage, right, in these fights on the UFC and stuff like that, and you see it unfold in real time. But how do you convey that in a film? And I think Gareth is really good at doing that. And I'd also say a lot of credit to Tom, because we did change a lot in the fight scene, because he was like, this is a real fight, and I'm twice her size. So she has to be able to take some of my shots. It's not like there's no way that she can run through me. Like, I'm a professional, I'm a cop. I understand how to fight. He's already been through everything. So I think how we were able to justify it is because, he just ran through 24 other people. And so he was already fatigued by the time I got to him. And
not only did he run through people, but he's been hiding in that cabin with bullets flying and stress and exhaustion. And
also just since it was such a something that I noticed in Ballerina was that that was the same way that she fought. She didn't do all of the John Wick stuff because she couldn't. She was a girl. Mm-hmm. So they really changed her fighting style to where whatever, we're not going to give much away by the time this comes out, but she was doing a lot more shooting and a lot less fighting.
Yeah.
Quicker. And you almost didn't notice it until you brought John Wick in. And then I was like, wow, they really did a lot for her to be completely different and have it make sense. And I almost didn't realize it until they brought the guy in. And because I feel like that's how well they did it.
Yeah. But in the Havoc
and
fight
Havoc was,
I mean, honestly, I can't speak for Tom, but if it were me, I would have been chomping at the bit because I know I'm going to be doing a scene with an extremely skilled person in you. Like, that must have been so much fun.
It was lots of fun. And, Tom and I and Tom's stunt and double, Jakey and Craig, we all got along really well. And I think we understood each other's body types and fight styles because outside of doing the choreography, we trained jiu-jitsu every day. So we really got to understand each other's bodies and kind of our habits that we revert back to. So it made the fights that much more organic. And to what you were saying about the ballerina, I am a fighter. I am a physical person, and so when I think they were able to lean into that a lot too, because, some of those slams and stuff like that, if you were to put, an actress in there, you wouldn't be able to do that. No. But, I was taking slams and getting, blast doubled for 18 years of my life as a professional fighter for free. So it was like throw it in there, like give it to me. Let's make this real.
Yeah. Totally.
I think it's funny because, when you come from a real fighting background, Steve and I come from a background of real fighting, when you're dealing with someone who doesn't care about you, how hard they hit you or whatever, when you're working with people who do care about you, and when you're like, it's okay, you can hit me, like you can put it into my body. It's so weird how
they should care about you. We'll say that,
but it's so funny how, like, because they do care about you, and you're like, oh, you're not trying to hurt me, so you can actually hit me.
No, actors don't always care about us. That's
well, that's very true.
Well,
but you know what I'm trying to say.
That they don't care, but they just don't know control.
That's true. There's that
have control, and it's like, all right, today we're sparring 50%. Like, you understand how to dial it back, you know how to dial it up,
right.
And so that's what comes with being a trained fighter, a trained athlete, a trained martial artist, right? But the actors, I just don't think they necessarily understand that control. So it's either not hard enough or too hard. There's like,
oh, totally. It's like when for myself, speaking for myself, when I have to deliver lines, I'm like, oh, fuck, man. Like,
or you just forget.
I didn't spend 20 years like learning acting. You know what I mean? I spent 20 years learning physical stuff. So like, I'm always most nervous about the lines I have to deliver and not the stunts.
Or like you do do the gun take and you wait for the cut, and then they're like, line. You're like, shit.
You're like, but that gunshot was really cool.
Yeah, right. How much time did you guys have to train? You said you were doing jiu-jitsu every day. And by the way, you're a BJJ black belt, correct?
I am.
So you're like the fourth BJJ black belt on our show
that we've had on our show.
We've been kind of joking, like we don't know if it's just because of like versus like, or the kinds of people that we like to have on the show, but we always talk about the training work balance and like how difficult that is. So when you were on set, you were able to actually find the time to train every day, or was it a challenge to find the time for yourselves to do jiu-jitsu, you said?
I think it was just it was part of the culture from the beginning of getting into Wales. It was like one of those things that was really important to Tom to get in good training and to be able to exert himself physically before he got on set. And so because it became part of the culture, it was something that I was able to do every day. And I made sure that I told the producers and Gareth that continuing my training was important, because at that time I was still actively fighting.
Right.
So yeah, they had a high respect for me as a martial artist, and made sure that I had all the things available to me to train.
They got you the VR?
The VR.
Yeah. But it's also, right, I mean, I imagine it really helps you and Tom develop that physical rapport for each other too.
And he's really he really trains jiu-jitsu like
He does
a lot now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He does. Like he doesn't want to be babied about it. He wants to be thrown in with everybody else that's training, and he wants to learn the technique, and he's super geeked out about it. You know.
So he's like, Michelle, don't fuck me up. I know you can fuck me up, but don't fuck me up, Michelle.
Well, he just has a different style, you know. And I'm kind of like a squirmy, like explosive grappler because I have to, because I'm usually a smaller person, and Tom kind of he can put his weight on you and lay on you. He likes to go for footlocks and stuff like that. And so we have different styles. And I remember the first time we rolled with him, I like spun around and took his back real quick, and he was like, "Stop moving, you little fucker."
Oh my God. Did they film what order did they film this in? Did you guys do the fight scene? Did they film it linear, or what were you out of order? Like, did you film the fight scene before you had to do all, like, for example, the big nightclub fight, or, you know, like, what was the order that they filmed it in?
I don't know. I don't think it was necessarily in order. So it was like the nightclub fight scene was a big chunk of the movie, and then the fishing shack is what we called the other chunk of the fight scene. And so the fishing shack, there was actually 3 different sets. We had 2 sets in studio, and then 1 set actually like on location, because there was just so much going on and all the bullet holes running through the fishing shack. They had to have 2 completely different sets for that. And then shooting underneath the shack, they had to build out a set. And so they saved the fishing shack fight scene for the end. So a lot of my firearms shots were pretty much done first, and then they shot the club scene and all that stuff, which I wish I kind of had a bigger part in. Yeah,
you kind of just show up. Yeah,
I show up at the end. I was like, I'll let everybody take care of all the rest of that stuff. Showing at the end, show up at the end. So it's kind of like a lot of my gun scenes were filmed first. My very first scene was actually my very first scene was me coming down the stairs into the club and kind of mowing everybody down with the Uzi. And that was my very first scene. And Tom could see that I was nervous, and I was just kind of pacing back and forth. And he was like, "Are you nervous?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." And he was like, "Well, you should be, because everybody's going to judge you."
He's not lying. He is not lying. It's true.
Sorry,
I had Jeffrey Dean Morgan fuck with me on set. I had to go run across screen, and I was running like not very far, and I'm getting myself all fucking pumped up, and Jeffrey just sits there. He goes, "Bro," he goes, "calm down." He goes, "You're going 10 feet." And I was just like, I hate you so much.
Yeah, but you got to get yourself pumped up. You know, it's that like adrenaline rush that gets you ready for the scene.
How is it? I mean, were you always thinking that this was something you wanted to do, or was this a natural evolution out of your martial arts life?
Honestly, I think it's actually all come full circle. So I grew up, you know, I have 2 black belts, American freestyle karate, a black belt, and then I'm black belt now in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But just growing up, I grew up in the era of Blade, Mortal Kombat, Best of the Best, Only the Strong.
That's the best. One of my favorites.
Yes. So those were the movies that really inspired me to want to be a martial artist. And
I'm like, those are all my movies. I'm like, I'm like, we're the same age. We have to be the same age.
She's younger. She'll always be younger. Come on.
Yeah, especially in Asian years. Like, you have to take off like 7 years because I'm Asian.
I think, I mean, when I saw some of the movies you were in, and then I was like, how? just because you look like you're in your 30s.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. Like, I'm
20s.
just like,
I'll say
how,
20s.
like,
Just-
I was
just
like
to- yeah.
watching your fights or whatever. And then when I looked at the IMDb and I saw you're in MacGruber, I'm like, no, that doesn't add up in my mind.
Yeah. But so it was like, so you kind of always were interested in transitioning at some point to film and things?
Well, honestly, I think at the beginning, like growing up doing martial arts, that a lot of the martial arts like competitions that I did were based off of the katas. My katas were always my kata scores.
Right.
In competitions where I always placed gold in those versus
you're doing like NASCA stuff like that and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I just financially and where we were located in America, I wasn't able to compete at those bigger venues, but if I had the opportunity, I would. So like when I became a young adult and knew that I wanted martial arts to be part of my life, it was like, okay, well, what path can we take? And at that time, competing in NASCA required having a sponsor. Otherwise, you're coming out of pocket, and it was just something. It wasn't financially feasible for me. Sure. And so I was going to college and decided, okay, I want martial arts to be part of my life. I decided to drop out of college, and when I found out you can get paid to fight,
you were like,
it kind of was just like a natural progression. Yeah,
light bulb.
And also, it was something completely opposite than the more beautiful artistic side of martial arts. It was very raw. It was very physical, and it kind of peels back all the layers and really exposes you. And that's something I really was drawn to because it challenged me to take a look into myself and really push myself every time I stepped into the octagon. Just coming full circle in between all my fights, doing stunt work, and always wanting to get into movies since the beginning. And so it's beautiful that it has come full circle, and now I'm retired and still in my prime and able to try out for those parts.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
I like how retired and still in my prime. You should make that a shirt.
Well, I mean, it's really heartbreaking when you start hearing like matchmakers and promoters talk about fighters that are mid 30s and already veterans of the game and already in talks of retiring, and to put your an entire 18 years I fought professionally, and to put so much time and energy into something, and for somebody to be like, okay, it's time for you to move on, and feel like you're getting pushed out, even though that's not what it is. It's just kind of, fighting is a young man's sport, and you hit a point where you have the knowledge and the ability to do it, but like your speed and your movement just isn't matching, right? And so it's kind of like,
tell me about it.
It's rough.
Yeah, it is. I'm going on 57, and I still roll with all the young guys all the time, but there's definitely, like, you can feel the little bit of slowdown. Where I always say I'll still do very well, but I'm like, it's illegal use of experience.
Right? It's like sometimes it's not the first try anymore. It's the relentlessness, and then you get it on the third or the fourth when you used to get it on the first try.
Yeah.
Or you just have to switch up your your game plan. Switch up your delivery, right?
Yep. But yeah, that's awesome. So you always kind of wanted to do it, and now it's happening. And I know you're retired from fighting, but have you considered coaching? Is that something that you want to do?
I do. I have a jiu-jitsu school in Albuquerque, and I teach there. I coach the kids program, and I'm traveling all over the world doing seminars and teaching a lot of women's self-defense, because I heavily believe in that. I think it's important for all women to have the confidence to protect themselves. And so I think it's important as a martial artist to always be able to give back knowledge when you can.
Yeah. I mean, and because were you predominantly coached by Jackson Wink? Is that like where your main coaches, or at what point? Because I took way back. I mean, I don't even remember when. It was at Fight Summit in Vegas. I took a workshop with Greg Jackson. And it was fucking eye-opening. Like, and it changed how I would scout our opponents. Like his whole approach to that blew my mind. Right. So I'm curious, like, having been sort of groomed in that environment, like, are you looking forward to coaching fighters, or you just want to do your kind of recreational, school for kids and stuff like that? Or like, what's your goal outside of film?
Well, it's really hard to coach a fighter. You have to be very dedicated. And so that's a huge undertaking, because it's a huge responsibility. You're taking somebody's life and career in your hands. And, I have a lot of teammates that I wouldn't mind stepping in and helping them out. But I also, too, am like such a I wouldn't say perfectionist, but I know how hard I am on myself. And I feel like if I didn't see the same amount of dedication and heart in somebody that I was training, I'd just be like, you don't want it. Like, if we're here, if we're going to get the grind in, like, I can't want it more than you do. And so
Absolutely.
just finding that person that cares is what it would
It's really
take.
Hard.
But the students at my school are amazing, and I love teaching the kids because you get to see the development of their confidence, and you get to see them struggle to get moves down or to understand sequences, and then one day it switches. I was able to see that in my daughter, and it was such a beautiful thing because that's what changed my life.
Sure.
So yeah, I have a great appreciation and a great passion for teaching, and it's just trying to find my chops as a teacher, because for so long I was a student, and it was like, okay, well, I'll just do whatever my coaches tell me to do. And now it's like I'm the one relaying the message. I'm the one breaking down the moves and trying to break down the concepts, and it is a completely different world on the other side.
Oh yeah, but you doing, like you said, breaking everything down, trying to transmit that information in ways that diverse people can understand. Like, not everybody's going to understand it the same way, but dissecting information like that on your end it completely makes you a better technician. It makes you better yourself.
I 100% agree. Yeah, I 100% agree. Absolutely.
And regarding coaching, I totally get it. You don't want to be a professional babysitter.
No.
Like, you don't want to be the one that's like, did you do your medicals? Did you eat right? It's like, I always preferred the guys that would be like, if I said you have to do this by this time, it would be done. Like, I don't need to chase you around. That's because I'm not making, especially in the low levels, I'm not making any money. I'm just doing this because I want to do it.
Right.
It's not like, there's no gain for me other than the satisfaction of working with you. So, you got to be wanting it more than me, like you said.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there is a gain when you see them change and grow into, I think that's what I have. Yeah. I have such a huge appreciation for my coaches, is because you can easily, pick up somebody that's already developed and is already like hit a winning streak and is getting ready to get signed to the big leagues and say that you coach them. So that's one thing, right? Is just to kind of ride off the coattail of what they've built over a decade.
Right.
But it's another thing to pick up a fighter as an amateur, or even before they get into the amateur leagues, and develop them from scratch and to actually kind of hone them and bring them up the ranks. That takes a lot of time and dedication. So I have so much respect for my coaches, because they see the potential in all of our amateur fighters.
Yeah. It does feel great to be part of that whole process from day one, or early on. Something came up this week. There was an actor training here for a role. They're not a martial artist, but they were training for a role, and pretty well-known actor, and talking about coaching. And you said maybe you're getting somebody on with a lot of wins, or you're riding some coattails or whatever. We were talking this week about the importance of losing. And so, like, what happened, this actor was practicing choreography, and they were here for 2 weeks. They're practicing some sword stuff, right? And so the trainer, I won't mention the name, but pretty well-known trainer, kind of jinxed it, and he was like, oh, you guys went 2 weeks and you didn't hit each other at all. I feel like you did really great. And then literally, like, it's on the last day. They're just running through the choreo before this actor heads off to Vancouver.
And what makes it worse is when he called me to let me know what happened, there was like 20 minutes left.
Yeah. It was like is the very end of the very last session, and they were training with Boken, and the actor hit her training partner, boom, across the face with the Boken, bam. Luckily, no broken nose, but there was like blood and stuff. We're like, you jinxed it. To the trainer, but then it led into this whole discussion about like, you know what? Because this actor is not a normal action person, and we're like, that is going to happen, and it's kind of better you got that experience of actually hitting somebody by mistake now, because when you get over there and you're on set and you're doing it over and over, and there's cameras and there's this and there's that, and there's things you got to avoid. There's cables running across the, like all the stuff that's on set.
Yeah,
like it will happen. You will hit each other by mistake, like 100%.
I have one friend, Federico. Whenever he and I work together, at one point he and I will always crack each other in the body.
Yeah.
We don't tell each other which one it's going to be, but what's really funny is that we're always kind of waiting for it. And then, so I remember the last time I worked with him, the first time I hit him, first time I fucking cracked him.
Yeah.
And then the second time I didn't touch him at all, and he was like, I was so waiting for you to hit me again, dude. He was just like, you're such an asshole. I didn't know how to react. And then the next take, the director goes to Federico and he looks at me. He goes, okay. He goes, now I want you to push kick Paul. And Federico looks at me. He goes, you know what's about to fucking happen, right? And I was
my
like,
turn.
And I was like, yep.
So I guess that was a long-winded way of bringing up to a question for you. Like, what were those moments in your career where what stumbling blocks have you hit? Like losses on your career, not losses, but not physical losses in a fight, but in this long career, those moments where you're like, oh fuck, man, is this really going to happen to me or not happen to me? Should I just quit this shit right now? Like
a lot.
Yeah.
I would say a lot for sure. I really do think that I started my MMA career at I've just 2 weeks after I turned 21. So really one of the first girls to be on the scene. It was still taboo. There were no women in the UFC. So just kind of climbing that hurdle was really hard, and just trying to find a seat at the table or make a seat at the table. I would say it was really hard, but because I loved it so much, I didn't mind putting in the time and the work. So that was one. The second one was when I got pregnant. It was, like I said, being a female in a male dominant sport, it's like, it's already taboo to be there, right? And so now it's like, okay, now I'm going to be a mom in this sport. Like, is that going to be accepted? Is that something that I'm going to want to continue to do? Is that something that I'll be able to do physically, mentally, financially? And
it's also a huge forced break.
Yes.
It's not like it's something you can fight during, or you know what I mean? Like, you have to.
Yeah, and
so,
honestly,
wow.
didn't know I didn't know I was pregnant. Just being a female athlete, I was always irregular, and so I was cutting weight, trying to get ready for a fight. I was doing stunt work. I just was doubling Natalie Portman for Thor, and I was harnessed and getting ratcheted in the air and dropped on the floor, sparring 4 times a week, and then I found out I was pregnant.
Oh wow, that must have been a shocker, dude.
My daughter was like, taking hits before she even knew.
So she was a legit fighter from day one, from before day one.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but with the help of my team, my husband, just a really good support system, was able to come back and actually have a purpose. I think that's what we were talking about, is like understanding like the setbacks are vital to your journey. You don't see it in the moment, just like I don't see, like, I'm still a little bitter about walking away from MMA right now. I watch fights and I still want to be there. I don't like the way it ended, right? But I also have to understand that's like, small picture when it comes to big picture stuff.
Sure.
And another one I would say is, like, as soon as I got signed to the UFC, I went up from 105 to compete at 115 in the UFC.
Yeah, because Invicta, you were like lighter.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
There's no 105 division in the UFC, so I decided to take that risk, and it was one of those things like, okay, well, if you're gonna go into the UFC, there's not gonna be any excuses that you're the smaller fighter, whatever. You decided to move up to strawweight. You gotta hold your own here at strawweight. Moving up, winning my first fight, but breaking my hand in the fight, kind of threw a wrench, in my journey, because it was like I'm capitalizing on this huge momentum of my UFC debut.
Sure.
I win, and then I can't fight for another year and a half because after I break it the first time, I book another fight 6 months later. 2 weeks before my fight, I break it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then all over
man.
again, over a year of being out of the UFC, book a fight, get ready to go. Same thing, a month out, I go to throw overhand, I catch her right on the forehead, and I feel it crack again, and it was just like,
was it the same break re-breaking, the same spot?
Same break. Yeah. And when I went in to talk to the surgeon about it, I don't know if he really understood that I was a professional fighter. Maybe he thought I was like doing it as like a hobby, or I don't know what he thought, but he
yes, yeah, I get it.
He was afraid that if he put a plate in, that I wouldn't be able to close my fist all the way, and I still kind of can't, but it's solid, after the fourth break, I finally got surgery on it, and it's been solid ever since.
That's sometimes, it's so funny because I broke my leg in 2 places in 2010 training for the British Open Sambo Championships. And then so I went to I was looking for who's the best guy for this injury. And then so I went to an orthopedist who's with the New York City Ballet. I'm like, this guy must know legs. He knows athletes, blah, blah. So I went to him, and it turned out like Rodrigo Gracie was a patient of his. Like, he understood what was going on. Mm-hmm. And so, like, you know how a lot of times, like, they'll take the plate out after the surgery and you heal. He's like, no, we're leaving yours in because you need that. So, like, I have 11 screws and a plate in my left leg. He's like, no, we're not taking that out. It's like, so like you talking about how it is making your hand stronger. That's exactly how I feel with my leg. Yeah.
When I was going random story, but when I was going in to get my knee surgery, I'm sitting, the doctor's looking at it, and at the time I was I was very, very big in the Krav Maga world, and there was one of the guys that trained in the Gracie gym, I forget who he was meeting with my doctor, and we only knew each other on Facebook, but he walks out and he sees me, and he stops and he goes, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" We were Facebook friends, and literally just walks back in and then comes back out, and the doctor comes in and he goes, "Dude," he goes, "that guy just told me to make sure that I absolutely took care of you and made sure your knee was 100%. He's like, "So you're good to go."
That's cool.
And I was like, what the fuck?
I feel like
he left, didn't even come back in, whatever. Yeah. He was just like, take care of that fucking guy like he needs his legs.
I feel like this is the scene in Jaws when they're all getting drunk.
Right? And they're all telling their stories.
Telling their injury stories.
What's that tattoo?
My God. It is kind of like one of those things when you start comparing scars, they're battle wounds, and that's what I tell my students when they get a black eye and they're all emotional about it, or they get a cut or whatever. I make them like proud of it. Like, no, you earned that. Like, that's a battle scar.
It's so funny because I always like people will post their injuries on Instagram, and I'll be like, that's so fucking stupid. And then what happened last year? I got 13 staples in my head. Like, and what the first thing I did? Take a picture. Hey Doc, will you take a picture of that for me? I got to put this on Instagram.
It was funny. Sean, we have a young kid that comes in here and trains. He's 15, 14?
He's 13.
13. He's really, really young kid.
He's brand new. He's real good.
And he's just like, man, he's like, I'm so not tough. And I looked at him and I'm like, are you kidding me? I go, you're a 13-year-old kid. I go, you're training in a room full of fucking men. And I made everybody call out their age. Yeah. I'm like, you are the youngest person in here by 10 years. And not only that, I go, you are the toughest person in this room. Yep. I go, do you need to get tougher? You are tough. Mm-hmm. Don't
just
say,
by being in the room.
Right. Just by being in the room, you have no idea how tough you are. But just by standing here with us toe to toe, I was like, you are so tough. I was like, so don't say you're not tough. You want to get tougher.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
And then because we don't have a kids program. So we'll take kids if they're like mature enough to train with us and stuff. But he's pretty, I mean, even for us, 13 is pretty young.
Pretty young. Yeah. For sure.
But it's like I said, if you see the potential, let him in.
He's great.
But it's also just making them feel empowered. You know what I mean? That even though they're not great, that they're gonna be great.
Yeah.
Right.
And not even bringing up that they're not great. It's just
how you do that is you break it down, right? You break them down and you build them up, just the same way you build muscle. You break it down to build it up, and that's what he's going through right now. He's getting broken down, so he feels a little a little wobbly on his feet, you know.
Mhm.
So you just got to
Who-
get
who-
reminded that eventually that breakdown is going to build up and give him his
Who did that
foundation.
for you? Who did that for you in the film world? Like who would be your mentors in not in the fight world so much, but in that transition from the one world to the other world?
Who took you down a peg to bring you up 7?
You know, I have a friend out here in Albuquerque who is the one that got me my Screen Actors Guild and kind of saw the potential in me. He knew as a fighter, but he also saw that I had the ability to transfer over into this acting world. And so it's Al Godo. He's a stunt coordinator in Albuquerque.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I almost worked for him.
Oh,
Almost.
yeah.
Well, I was doubling on Nosferatu, but on the episode that I was working, Lawrence, I don't know if you know Lawrence Chavez, but Lawrence Chavez.
Yes, I know Lawrence because Lawrence was in Albuquerque as well for a while. I worked with him a couple times.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So Lawrence was covering and Al was not on that time. So
Yeah.
But,
yeah, and so he really kind of took me under his wing and explain. A lot of times when you get into stunts, you kind of just expect it to understand how it goes, you know, and that's kind of how it is in the fight world too, right? Like you show up, you know, you earn your stripes, and if you can keep coming back, you eventually become a part of the team. And so I feel like in stunts, it's a lot that way too. It's like, well, we need to kind of test you, and we're not going to tell you what's expected. You should probably know what's expected. And so there's a lot of things that kind of translate over very easily. It's like pull your own weight, like be there when we need you to be there, be on time, be early, make yourself available. You know,
early is on time.
Yeah.
On time is late.
Make yourself available and be fun to be around. Like don't, you know, you're on set for 10, 12, some longer hours, and it's like, and if you're no fun to be around, then it's like they're not going to want to.
Nope.
No,
absolutely.
We get asked all the time. Like we'll do workshops, fight workshops, you know, choreography workshops, and like aspiring people are asking what the most important thing. I'd be like, it's the meaning of life. Don't be a dick.
Treat people the way you want to be treated.
That's it.
100%.
Like, your attitude and ability to socialize and network and be fun to be around and is so much more important than the skill that you initially. You can learn stuff. You can learn how to do stuff, right? But if you're just not somebody that people want to be around, they're never going to take the time to teach you the stuff that you need to learn. You got to be that person, like 14 hours on set. Like, I don't want to be 14 hours in and be like, oh my God, I got to spend another hour with this person. It's going to drive me crazy.
Right.
You know?
And also, like, especially in the stunt world, it's kind of like, it translates over to the fight world. It's like, don't be a bitch. Like, don't say you're like this big, bad, tough, whatever. And then when it's time to go, when it's time to like, okay, and on the day and action, and you're like, oh, well, actually, I think I'd rather be the guy back there that's just walking past all the action, you know, like, kind of, you know,
definitely don't oversell yourself. Yeah,
walk the walk.
Yep, for sure. Well, so what do you got? What do you got coming up? Anything interesting that you can talk about?
You know, I just had a meeting with my agents, and they're just telling me that there's a lot of different auditions that they're going to put me out for coming up that are really interesting. And so I think just the potential to be on a couple of really cool projects here in the future is really exciting for me. My friend Keith Jardine, he is like, he fought for the UFC. He's
the Dean of Mean?
The Dean of Mean.
Keith Jardine.
Yeah, he got into acting and now he's directing, and he brought me in. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome. I love it. Basically, anytime I saw a movie and they were in prison and he came out, holy shit.
Yeah. That's cool. He's stepping on the other side of the camera. That's cool.
Yeah. And he's an amazing storyteller, and he's an amazing story writer. So
that's awesome.
A really cool movie that's coming out, I think, at a film festival this summer that he casted me for. And so that's really exciting. That'll be coming out. And I do same thing with Donald Cerrone. You know, he's a friend of mine that I've trained with forever and ever. He's kind of who introduced me into the world of MMA and you know, who inspired me to move out to New Mexico and he's doing the same thing. I think a lot of people are starting to kind of take initiative. They have a story idea or something, just kind of, take the bull by the horns. And he has a whole ranch and horses and this and that. And so he brought me onto this project, and we're doing some episodic shots that will kind of eventually lead into a movie. And I have a
like
really
a proof
cool
of concept kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a really cool role in that movie that he's putting together. And then just coming back from LA, I think a lot of people are starting to understand the potential in social media and the different platforms like Instagram and TikTok, and just trying to do a lot of that short form content.
Yeah.
And so I was just out in LA working with Noah Felder, and he's really good at capturing really high quality short form content. So we're doing a cool project now that I worked on that should be coming out soon here.
Yeah, that is.
So when you've been cast for all of these roles, what was the hardest adjustment to your character that you were ever given that you really kind of had trouble grasping in the beginning? Like before you when they were like, hey, we kind of need the character to be this or this, like, was there anything that was really tough for you to just kind of grab and get? Like, was there a big change from a real fight world and being a real fighter to any of the characters you had to play where you just kind of were like, this is tough?
I'm actually pretty good at. No, I'm just joking.
I'm awesome. So
Wait,
no.
What did she just say about walk the walk?
Right. Well, I mean, I remember the first time I was ever on set. The hardest thing for me to ever do was looking like a sloppy fighter, and looking like a sloppy fighter through an entire fight. So I had to be a thug from A to B, not just for this punch, that punch, and then I could look like an expert for a half a punch. Right. It was staying in character of being an untrained fighter through an entire process, from the footwork to everything. And I fucking failed miserably.
That is hard. It's because it's decades of training ingrained in your body. I would say I'm a very physical person. I talk with my hands. I move with my body. And so on film, everything's here, So if we're talking about acting, something that I've really had to work hard on is just being still and acting with my eyes and understanding that, I'm telling a story with this. And so any type of movement in this space is what's going to tell the story. So just kind of understanding how to like lean into the subtleness of your facial expressions and just telling a story here versus my entire body.
It's interesting. That sounds very similar. I mean, I was never a theater actor, but I've heard people that come from live shows or theater saying the same thing, because they're performing, they're very physical and all the movements are very grandiose, right? Because you have to play to the nosebleed seats and everybody has to understand what's going on. Then they come to the TV and it's like you said, it's all right here.
Right.
Dialing it into this very small box.
But then I also feel like you have to take all of that and put it here. So right. So, but you have to be able, so I feel like sometimes when they're like, hey, can you do this? And you're like, my eyes are fucking open. But while you're doing it, I feel like my eyes are like this.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the camera, they look normal.
Dude, I don't know if you saw this movie, Michelle. It's not out. It's out in festivals and stuff. And it was a limited run in theaters called Day of the Fight. But there's Joe Pesci plays a cameo in it. And he plays the guy's father with Alzheimer's. And he doesn't have a single word in the whole movie. He doesn't say a single word. But it's all just right here. And you're like, holy fuck. Now you know why this guy's a master.
Yeah.
Because he just, you knew exactly what was going on in his head, exactly how he was feeling at that moment, and how it was changing. I mean, and it was all just face. And even less than that, some of the scenes were in the rearview mirror of a car, just that little piece of his face. And he was selling it so hard, man. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But
and I would also say, like, if you're talking about like the physicality of like moving over from like real fights to film fights is understanding the pace of it and slowing it down, right? Because it's like in a real fight, you want to have speed because speed is power. You want to disguise your punches and your hits because you want to surprise your opponent and you want to catch them off guard. But
sounds like my fucking class from before.
He just taught a class right before we went on here.
I swear to God, I said those exact words. This is so funny.
Yeah, it's right. Two sides of the same coin. Right, it's exact opposite in film, but it's for a reason. It's because we in film are trying to relay what we feel in fighting to the audience. Not what you see, it's what you feel. So it's like when the audience is watching it, it's what the fighter feels. So you have to show the impact, you have to show the hit, you have to be able to show the power. And you can't show the power if it flies by your face,
So when you got into film, right, and then you go back and you're in a fight, right, and then you go back and you watch your fight. Do you? Sometimes I feel like that in the fight, I do things that are a lot bigger than what I actually go back and watch. Like when someone's going to try and catch you, and then you counter. In your head, I feel like it goes so much differently now that I am so aware of all the minutia and the little things that I do on film that when I go back and watch something in my head, I think it translates to so much. And then when I watched the real fight, I was like, oh my God, I didn't do any of that. None of that would have been seen on film. I thought I did it in my head, but it was just poof, quick with all the movements. So it's kind of weird how like in my head sometimes now I think that I move like that, and then like when I'm sparring or whatever, and then when I go back and watch it, none of those things registered on it, and I was like, oh,
on the screen,
right? And I never thought that way and now it really makes me think about the over exaggeration you have to do for things to read on film. So constantly when I watch myself fight for real, it almost makes me better off the screen for when I go on screen because I realize how big I have to be for the camera to read it.
I really like the way you put it, Michelle, which is to take that our job on the screen is to make people understand what it feels like to have the fight. So it's like taking this, everything like what you just described is like internally what's going on in your head during a real fight. We don't see out here.
You mean would it just take me 5 minutes to say you said in 10 seconds?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And then, but we want to take that what's internal and make it external.
Yeah.
Right.
And then also it's like something that I really had to wrap my head around because I come from like before I started fighting, I came from the kata world and where I was a perfectionist. Everything was chambered, everything popped out and it popped back, and I got back into a good stance and I had a good foundation. And I really wanted to transfer that over into fighting. And I remember I'd get so frustrated after sparring sessions. And I was talking to my coach, and he's like, they call me Peanut at the gym because I'm like little. He's like, Peanut, why are you so upset with that round? You killed it. And I was like, it's not coming how it needs to come. It needs to be perfect. And he's like, no, it doesn't. Like fights aren't perfect. Fights are messy.
Yeah.
You're only in control of yourself. The other half of it is the other person. You can't control what they're doing,
Yeah.
And so kind of just like embracing the messiness of it too, is beautiful.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't even think of that. Like coming from the kata world, which is like a performance, to the fight, which is less performance. I mean, it's performance obviously, but there, like you said, there's a grit and reality. Like it doesn't have to look perfect. To film back to performance again. So you've done this whole sort of arc. Yeah. I know you have a hard out, and we have 3 minutes. So I'm so glad we were able to make this happen.
Yeah, I love talking all things martial arts, and I think that everything. If you're talking about going to one of Coach Jackson's, seminars, he's really, really big on concepts, and so. And the reason why I love martial arts is because everything's connected. Like if you can do it standing, you could do it up against the wall, you could do it on the ground. If you understand the concepts, if you can do it in a kata, you can do it, in a fight, you could do it on film if you understand the concepts. you know. So it's so beautiful to see that martial arts can be like something that's very aggressive and harsh, but at the same time very soft and beautiful if you understand the concepts.
I have, that's actually my philosophy on self-defense, which is if you don't understand the concepts of fighting, you're probably not going to be able to defend yourself. So
more than probably.
Well, I always try and be at least nice about it. You know what I mean? Because like most people, they'll come in, they'll be like, I want to learn how to defend myself. I'm like, do you know how to fight? And they're like, no. And I'm like, it's going to be tough.
Well, that's the thing, right? You want to open the world up and you want to show them the tip of the iceberg. And you know, in hopes that by showing them 3 hours of 2 techniques, they understand that it has to become a part of your daily life.
Yeah, that's really the goal, right? Of the self-defense workshops is really, it's almost like a drug dealer. Like you're going to get a taste, but you got to do this all the time.
Right.
Well, it's just to put the fear in you, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's a healthy fear.
They should leave being like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Not like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
So listen,
crazy.
Everybody we need to put the fear in everybody watching and listening. They better fucking watch Havoc.
Please watch Havoc. What? I mean,
it's amazing. If you like action, you got to watch it. It's kind of really nostalgic action movie, you know.
It's great.
And I just read a great article that it got a huge seal of approval from Quentin Tarantino.
Oh yeah,
he has like literally been verbally shouting out about this movie.
Yeah, and it makes sense too. It's like right up his alley, honestly. The grit and the bullets.
I'm like, I would just say I don't even notice, but I have my shirt is the opening of the final scene from Raid 2.
That's sweet.
When they're in the kitchen and they line up.
Raid 1 was better, but that's for another
podcast. But that fucking kitchen scene.
That's for another podcast.
Dude, all the blood in that white kitchen with the Grand Theft Auto 1 overshot, that was awesome.
Yeah. All right, awesome.
What I'm most excited about is to be able to be in more movies, tell more stories, and get more experiences. Yeah, you know, I absolutely, caught the bug, and I loved performing. I loved being able to move with Tom and to work with Gareth, and I can't wait to get to work with other actors and kind of express my martial arts on film.
Well, we've all caught the Michelle bug, so that's exactly what we want to see more of. So,
yes, totally. So keep us. Hopefully, we'll have you back on the show when you do something else cool. One of these movies comes out.
I would love that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Or even if I'm ever out in LA and want to do a seminar or something at the school.
We're in New York. So if you're ever in New York,
in New York,
you're more than welcome to come here and do a seminar. That would be awesome.
Yes, I would.
That'd be totally cool. Cool. I'm gonna say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
You can't finish the podcast without finishing your beer. That's like a no.
Okay, we'll finish it, and then we got to refill it up for the for the introduction. because on the timeline, right? We do the intro after this, and then we refill the beers because we actually, when we edit it, it's before this, so we refill the glasses again. So we talked about this. We talked about this in another episode. Like, if you go back and watch the episode with Cliff Moylan talking about Patriots Day, that was the 3rd episode we did in a day.
We were fucking hammered.
So fucking wasted.
So then we're like, okay, we got to start like with like sparkling apple cider.
On multi-episode days, we cheat the early episodes.
But he also drinks like normal beer, like 3.5. I drink microbrews, so I'm drinking like 9.5.
I'm drinking a Sapporo right now. So that's what I'm drinking.
I'm drinking like a Voodoo Ranger that's 9.5%. His is 3.5%.
I drank those the other day, and they just, we were having an outside pool party, so you get parched, being outside, and I picked one of those up. Yes, you do. And they're easy to drink, so I slammed it back, and then I was like 3 drinks down, and I was like, why am I drunk?
All right, so this clip will definitely be our social media clip right now. Film Fights with Friends is produced by Stephen Kepfer, Paul Veracci, Press Record Studios, and Breakball Studios. This episode was engineered by Richard Butler. This show is powered by our supporters at Patreon and is a registered trademark of Film Fights with Friends, LLC. Original theme by Aru Luster.